Welcome back. As I mentioned yesterday, or well, it won't be yesterday for you guys, but as I mentioned on the off-road video, I backed into a metal pole yesterday and smashed all this plastic behind the plate. So what we're going to look at doing, we're going to take it apart first, see what the damage is, and then what I've seen online is people just make a plate that goes down here, removes all of this, and make like a tail tidy. It does tidy up the back end. If it's going to be a cheaper option than buying all this plastic, which can be quite expensive, then that's what we'll do. But we'll take it apart, see what it looks like, see what the damage is. So hopefully you can make that out, but basically I got a crack all the way along here and all the way along there. I think the problem is I could probably hot glue it, but it's just going to come apart. I might do that anyway. But I think the best bet is going to be strip it down, take it off, have a look at it. I believe this cover comes off separate, and then we'll see what the score is underneath here. If it's easier, just going to make a tail tidy. Probably from there, just have the number plate coming off so it sits a bit further back. I'm not in the business of cutting up a good bike, but ultimately, well, it's happened once, it's going to happen again, so might as well just get rid of it. Right, get cracking with that then. Talking online to a bloke who sent me some designs through of tail tidy he did, and what he did is he removed this, which is the ABS ECU, and he repositioned it 180 degrees in here. Obviously that means I'm going to lose space to store my tools and stuff, not a problem. I've got the tank bag, they can go in there. Just have to make it so this strap will actually hold it down, and then put two little feet under these screws so it doesn't move around, and then obviously the fuse box just goes back on there. So that's what we're going to get on with now. What that means then is we can actually remove a lot of this, and it just gives us a better angle to work with. Takes a bit of this plastic off the back end, and ultimately if I do buy the stuff to put it back to stock, it's here, you know. It replaces all of this, all the stuff I'm cutting, it just replaces it anyway. So if we do replace it back to stock at some point, it's easy enough to do. Right, let's get cracking. bit of a recap. So got the ECU moved on there, and I'll show you that in a bit when we do a roundup. And then just put the rear light on, starting the paper template. Obviously you're gonna have to remove some of this. There is a factory hole there and one on this side, where I'm going to use to attach that. I'm just working out the indicators now. They're probably just going to go here on the tail end, or on the light bracket just slightly lower, but preferably I'll try and keep it with it in this so that the wires are out the way. I'm just going to put the stock indicators back on. I'm just working on the paper template now to try and get that to sit in there nice and neat, and then hopefully I can get this paper template done, get it drawn up properly, and then we can get on and get it knocked out of aluminium. So through the magic of video editing, what you should see now, or what you should have just seen, is me making this, which is the final one. It's not perfect, still needs cleaning up. We're going to rub it down with some sandpaper. Obviously need to drill 2 holes for the number plate to go on. We've got both lights on, they're both pretty, well, they're in place, so I'm happy with that. Just need to do some rubbing down with some sandpaper, just finish off these lines so this light sits a little bit lower. But ultimately it's not too bad. Sides could have been better, but as soon as I can, I plan on just buying the original plastics again, which looks like I'm going to have to get them from the States, and then replace it all back to standard anyway. But it should work just to get us through until next year. Yeah, so we'll just strip it all off, get the finishing done, and then we should be golden. Should be back on the road in no time. Okay, so that's all the indicators fitted. Everything's cut down, everything's tidied up. It's pretty much ready to go back together. Let's just talk about the tail tidy itself. So we started off with this rough template, which turned into this, which I busted. One of the ends fell off. Tried to weld it back on. My skills just aren't there yet. I tried to braze it back on. Skills definitely aren't there. So trash. Went back to the drawing board, drew it all up again, nice and neat. Measured all the angles and stuff I needed, and then we ended up with this. Again, it's not perfect. It is just a temporary fix till I can get the parts that I need to put it back to stock. This hole here had to be made at an obscure angle to get the standard light to fit. I don't really want to get rid of the standard light, but because it's got this like positioning pin, I suppose is the only way to describe it, I had to make this right, and the shape of the light actually just means that I had to cut this out a little bit more, but that's fine. We're gonna put some rubber in there and there and there, and then it will sit nice when it's back on the bike. So that's what we're going to do now. Just going to finish this off, and then we'll get the bike rebuilt. So yet again, I'm struggling with my other camera. I think I need to have a serious look at it. Maybe get some new batteries, or maybe just invest in a better camera for doing this sort of thing. But basically, what did you miss? Me just putting the tail tidy together, and then well, actually putting it on the bike. I mean, it's not the best. It's not the tidiest. It doesn't fill all the gaps, but it does hold the number plate in place pretty sturdily. Is that even a word? Sturdily? It's pretty sturdy. It's not moving. So it'll do until I can get the bits that I need to actually replace it. It doesn't actually look too bad. I suppose it beats that bit that sticks right out, but yeah, we'll see how it goes once we get a chance to get out on it. But I'm fairly happy with it. It doesn't look too terrible from back here anyway. Cool. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.